In this video, we are going to look at an analogy of drug distribution in my body with an hydraulic model of pharmacokinetics. This figure actually shows a schematic model of the cardiovascular system. The fluid is actually pumped by a pump, and the fluid actually flows into pipes of different calibers and reaches reservoirs of different sizes. Now dye is injected into the system, and the dye will diffuse and eventually reach the same concentration everywhere. But however, because reaching the equilibrium, the dye will have different concentrations in different reservoirs. Each reservoir exchanges an amount of water every minute. Say we give the term to be flux, and that flux depends upon the caliber of the connecting pipe and also the amount of water it has to exchange, which depends upon the size of the reservoir. Therefore, taking these two factors in consideration, the time to equilibrium for each reservoir will depend upon the flux to volume ratio, which we can by also say by a specific term which is known as a specific flux or the specific perfusion. For that particular compartment. So the larger the tube and the smaller the pole, the higher is the specific flux and the shorter the time to equilibrate the circulating fluid. And why are we discussing it all? The drug distribution is governed by similar principles in our body too. Each reservoir which we are represented here or a compartment represents a tissue in our body or an organ, and the pipes which we represent here represents a vessel or a plasmatic compartment in our body. So now let's consider the case of a highly perfused organ as mentioned here. The time course of dye concentration may be biphasic. So what do I mean by biphasic? Earlier, the concentration of the dye present in the tissue tends to rise and then tends to decline. In fact, at the earlier times, as shown here, the concentration will be higher, shown by a very dark appearance, and as time passes, the dye has not significantly diffused to poorly perfused organs as here. So as time passes, the concentration of the circulating fluid and in the well perfused organs is high and then slowly declines as the dye tends to redistribute to this lowly perfused organ as time passes. So finally it tends to form a state of equilibrium as in this diagram. And this phenomenon is something called the redistribution phenomenon. This phenomenon actually constitutes a very important aspect in drug pharmacokinetics, especially for drugs acting on CNS. Say a highly lipophilic drug may rapidly equilibrate with plasma in the brain, a highly perfused compartment, producing a first pharmacological effect there. Such effect then further gradually vanishes as a result of redistribution phenomenon before the drug is significantly eliminated out of the body. Fine, now to add this hydraulic model and to make this hydraulic model more realistic and introduce the concept of clearance, the aspect of clearance from this model, we actually introduce two faucets. One lets out a fixed fraction of a circulating fluid every minute out, and the other one replaces it with a clean water. So these two faucets actually stimulate the drug clearance. That is, a constant fraction of a plasma volume is cleaned every minute from the system. So the concentration of the dye gradually declines as it leaves through the system through the outflow faucets. The rate of elimination process actually depends again on the flux to volume ratio. Here, the flux equal to the clearance, which is the volume of the colored fluid replaced by the clean fluid, while the volume is the total volume of the system. So if the faucets are opened a bit more, there will be an increase in the flux, that is the clearance, and there will be an increased elimination. If you would have noticed the difference which is in this image and not in the previous image which I have put in, you could see this dotted line. So what are these dotted lines? Actually, the circulating blood is not in direct contact with the interstitial fluid. So this model should therefore include filters as depicted by these dotted lines to represent the diffusion barriers at the various capillary beds. So this tight filter obviously hampers the equilibration in a highly perfused organ, while it may be irrelevant in a poorly perfused compartment. So for an example again, if we consider CNS for an hydrophilic drug, now the blood-brain barrier behaves as a very tight filter, and the CNS, though a highly perfused organ, equilibrates very slowly. But CNS for a lipophilic drug behaves as a highly perfused organ and rapidly equilibrates tissue, and redistribution phenomenon are observed here because of the high permeability through the blood-brain barrier. So the next determining factor or the aspect of drug distribution which you are going to see is drug tropism and avidity. According to this concept, if we say a drug has a tropism towards a tissue, which means the drug tends to accumulate in a particular tissue and has a greater avidity for the tissue. So in such a situation, when the tissue tends to be equilibrated with the plasma concentration, the concentration of the drug in the plasma will be slightly less, or you can say the concentration of the drug in the tissue is slightly higher because of the greater tropism or the greater avidity of a tissue for the drug. So in order to compare this property of drug tropism and avidity of different tissues, we introduce a new term or a new concept called volume of distribution. We'll look into more detail about the concept of volume of distribution in another video with another analogy. So in brief, it is actually an apparent volume of plasma that contains the same amount of drug that the tissue contains at equilibrium concentration. So if a tissue tends to accumulate more and more of a drug, it takes more and more of volume, that is it's an apparent volume to be more specific, for the same drug to be distributed in the plasma at the same concentration. So when there is a higher tropism of a tissue for a drug, there is a higher volume of distribution. Such apparent volume does not need to have a physical correlate with the specific compartments of the body. Still, it is an operational concept, very useful because it helps to determine the amount of drug to be given to a particular patient in order to obtain a given plasma concentration. So let's summarize. The model actually highlights a main principle to keep in mind to understand the drug distribution in any organism, which is that the drug concentration in a body compartment depends upon the local plasmatic flow. The local plasmatic flow. Second is about the physical and the chemical properties of the drug and the tissues. About whether it is lipophilic or hydrophilic, which depends upon the drug, as well as about the tissues. And also about the permeability properties of the capillary beds, which limits its diffusion or the movement across different membranes. And also about the avidity and the tropism of the drug, which depends upon the binding of different drugs towards either plasma proteins or towards any specific tissue.